They say hunger is the best cook, but nobody told me hunger could also be a gateway to the spirit world. Let me tell you about the night I almost died from a pack of instant noodles. Not from choking, not from food poisoning, from guilt so thick it could have seasoned 3 more pots. I'm not talking about the kind of guilt you feel when you eat the last piece of meat in the fridge. I'm talking about the kind that makes your ancestors lean forward in their seats, popcorn in hand, watching you mess up spectacularly. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start where all good disasters start, with confidence and an empty stomach. It was 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. I know because I checked my phone right before I decided to ruin my life over noodles. I'd been working late, or what I told myself was working, which really meant scrolling through my ex's new girlfriend's cousin's Instagram while eating my feelings. My stomach had been complaining for the past 2 hours, doing that thing where it sounds like a whale singing underground. I stood in my kitchen, staring into my cupboard like it might magically fill itself with jollof rice and fried plantain. Spoiler, it didn't. What I found instead was a single pack of Indomie, chicken flavor, the kind that comes in that yellow packet that promises satisfaction but delivers regret by 3 a.m. Now, I should tell you something about me. I'm not superstitious. I don't throw salt over my shoulder. I don't avoid black cats. I once walked under a ladder just to prove a point to my grandmother, and the only thing that fell on me was bird poop, which she said was the universe laughing at my arrogance. Fair enough. But that night, as I pulled that packet from the cupboard, something felt off. You know that feeling when the air gets too quiet? When even the mosquitoes stop buzzing because they sense something bigger than them is happening. Yeah. That. I ignored it. Because hunger makes you stupid. Hunger makes you think you're invincible. Hunger makes you believe that a 50-cent pack of instant noodles is a 5-star meal. I filled my pot with water and turned on the stove. The blue flame licked the bottom of the pot like it had a personal vendetta against it. While I waited for the water to boil, I did what every sensible person does at midnight. I opened the seasoning packet and licked my finger before dipping it in. Don't judge me. You've done it too. That's when I heard it. A whisper. Soft. Almost like wind through a keyhole, except all my windows were closed and I live on the 7th floor. Please. I froze, finger halfway to my mouth, orange seasoning powder coating my fingertip like evidence of a crime I hadn't committed yet. I looked around my kitchen. Empty. Just me, the boiling water, and a growing sense that maybe, just maybe, I should have ordered pizza instead. Please don't. There it was again. Clearer this time. And it was coming from the counter. From the packet of noodles. Now, here's where I should have done the intelligent thing. I should have thrown those noodles out the window, called my pastor, maybe even packed a bag and moved to another country. But instead, I did what my grandmother always warned me about. I let curiosity win over common sense. I picked up the packet. Held it up to my ear like a seashell. And I swear on everything I love, I heard breathing. Tiny. Desperate. Human. Hello. I whispered to a pack of instant noodles. This is what my life had become. Don't eat me, the voice said, and this time it was unmistakable. Small, trembling, but definitely there. Please. I have a family. I dropped the packet. It landed on the counter with a soft thud, and I stumbled backward, knocking over my bottle of groundnut oil. It rolled across the floor like it was trying to escape before I did. Nope, I said out loud to no one. Nope, nope, nope. I'm tired. I'm hallucinating. This is what happens when you skip breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your brain starts lying to you. But the water was boiling now, sending up steam that looked almost accusatory. And my stomach was still growling, louder now, like it was annoyed I was wasting time having a crisis instead of feeding it. I stared at the Indomie packet. It stared back, or at least, it felt like it did. Listen, I said, because apparently I was now the kind of person who negotiates with food. I don't know what's happening here. But I'm hungry. Very hungry. The kind of hungry that makes people do things they're not proud of. I understand, the voice said, and I swear it sounded sad. Hunger is powerful. It makes people forget who they are. What they're eating. Your noodles, I said flatly. Wheat flour, palm oil, and sodium. You don't have a family. You have a factory production line. And your carbon, water, and a series of poor decisions, the voice shot back. But your mother still loves you. I'll admit it, that one stung. Even possessed noodles were out here reading me for filth. The water was at a full boil now, bubbles rising and popping like tiny explosions of impatience. I had a choice to make. And the thing about choices is that you don't really know what kind of person you are until you're standing in your kitchen at midnight, deciding whether to cook sentient noodles. I picked up the packet again. Slower this time. Why are you talking? I asked. What did I do to deserve haunted groceries? You didn't do anything, the voice said. Yet. But you're about to. And I'm here to give you a choice that most never get, to see what you're consuming before you consume it. That's deep for a Tuesday, I muttered. Every day is deep when you're about to die, it replied. I should have put the noodles down. I should have walked away. But my grandmother used to say that some lessons can only be learned by walking through the fire, not around it. So I tore open the packet. The moment I opened it, everything changed. The kitchen lights flickered, not dramatically like in movies, but enough to make my heart skip. The steam from the boiling water seemed to twist into shapes, faces almost, before dissolving back into nothing. And the noodles began to glow. Faintly. Like someone had trapped a firefly inside each strand. You're really going to do this, the voice said. It wasn't a question. It was an observation. The kind your mother makes when she's watching you do something stupid but has decided to let you learn your lesson the hard way. I'm hungry, I said, but my voice cracked. I've had a long day. My boss yelled at me. My rent is due. My ex is posting pictures with someone who looks like they've never had a bad day in their life. I just want to eat noodles and go to bed. Is that too much to ask? No, the voice said softly. It's not too much. But can I tell you something first? Before you drop me into that water. I hesitated. The rational part of my brain was screaming at me to stop engaging with food items. But the part of me that had been raised on stories of spirits and ancestors and the thin line between this world and the next, that part was curious. Fine, I said. But make it quick. The water's boiling. I used to be like you, the voice began. Hungry. Tired. Looking for something quick and easy to fill the emptiness. I worked 3 jobs. I sent money home to my village. I told myself I'd rest later, eat properly later, live later. Later never came. I felt my chest tighten. What happened? I collapsed, the voice said. Right there in the factory where they make these noodles. I was on the night shift, packing boxes, and my heart just stopped. They said it was stress. Malnutrition. The irony, dying surrounded by food I couldn't afford to eat. The kitchen suddenly felt colder. I pulled my sweater tighter around myself. And now I'm here, the voice continued. Trapped in the thing I made but never enjoyed. Watching people like you, people like I was, make the same choices I did. Quick. Easy. Never stopping to think about the cost. That's not fair, I said, and I felt anger rising in my chest. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm going through. Sometimes people don't have choices. Sometimes instant noodles at midnight aren't a choice, they're survival. You're right, the voice said, and it surprised me. I don't know you. But I know that feeling. The one in your chest right now. The one that says the world is too heavy and you're too tired and you just want something warm to make it through another night. I felt tears prick my eyes. I wasn't crying over noodles. I was crying over everything else, the weight I'd been carrying, the exhaustion, the loneliness. And this stupid packet of Indomie had somehow cracked me open. So what do you want from me? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. You want me to let you go? Throw you away? Starve instead? No, the voice said. I want you to see me. Really see me. Not just noodles. Not just convenience. But the life that went into making this. The hands that harvested the wheat. The workers who packaged it. The person who died without ever tasting their own labor. I looked down at the packet in my hands. Really looked. And for the first time, I saw the tiny print on the back. The ingredients. The factory address. The best before date. Things I'd never paid attention to before. Things that represented entire supply chains of human effort. I see you, I said quietly. Then eat me, the voice said, and I jerked my head up in surprise. What? Eat me, it repeated. But eat me with awareness. Eat me with gratitude. Eat me knowing that nothing comes without cost. And maybe tomorrow, you'll make a different choice. Maybe you'll cook a real meal. Maybe you'll call your mother. Maybe you'll rest instead of running yourself into the ground. I stood there, noodles in one hand, my whole worldview shifting in the other. But you scream? I asked. Oh yes, the voice said, and I swear I heard a smile in it. I'm going to scream so loud your neighbors will think you're murdering someone. Consider it my final gift to you, a reminder that nothing comes easy, nothing comes without consequence, and some sounds you can never unhear. That's messed up, I said. So is eating at midnight and calling it dinner, the voice replied. We all do what we must. I dropped the noodles into the boiling water. And the voice, it screamed. Not like a horror movie. Not like something trying to scare me. It screamed like grief, like loss, like every person who's ever worked themselves to death for a system that forgot they were human. It screamed for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, exactly as long as the package said to cook them. And I stood there, tears streaming down my face, stirring noodles that glowed faintly in the pot, feeling like I just witnessed something ancient and terrible and somehow necessary. When the timer went off, the screaming stopped. The kitchen returned to normal. The light steadied. The steam was just steam again. I drained the noodles, added the seasoning, and sat down at my small table. They looked like regular Indomie. Smelled like regular Indomie. But when I took my first bite, I tasted something I'd never tasted before. Gratitude. Grief. Connection. Every bite felt like a conversation with the hands that made it. With the land that grew it. With the person whose voice I'd heard. I ate slowly, something I never did with instant noodles. I tasted each strand. Each flavor. And when I finished, I washed my bowl, turned off the lights, and sat in the dark for a long time. The next morning, I woke up expecting a hangover from guilt, but instead I felt different. Lighter, somehow. Like I'd confessed something I didn't know I'd been carrying. I went to the market that afternoon. Actually went, not ordered delivery. I bought fresh tomatoes, onions, peppers. I bought rice, the kind that takes an hour to cook properly. I bought meat from a butcher who told me about his children while he cut my order. I cooked. Really cooked. And while I cooked, I thought about the voice from the night before. About all the voices we never hear because we are moving too fast to listen. About the cost of convenience, not just in money, but in connection, in awareness, in humanity. My grandmother called later that week. You sound different, she said. Do I? Comma. Like you finally stopped running from something. I laughed. I had a conversation with a pack of noodles. Does that count as stopping? She was quiet for a moment, then, the Spirit speak to us in whatever form we listen. For some, it's dreams. For others, visions. For you, it was Indomie. The ancestors work with what they have. You believe me? Baby, I've had a breadfruit tree give me relationship advice. Nothing surprises me anymore. We laughed together, and it felt good. Like home. Like connection. Have you ever noticed how we go through life half asleep? How we eat without tasting, walk without feeling, love without presence. We are so busy surviving that we forget we are alive. The voice in that Indomie packet didn't tell me to stop eating instant noodles forever. It didn't shame me for being tired or broke or human. It just asked me to see. To be aware. To remember that everything connects to everything else. There's a Yoruba proverb my grandmother loves: however far the stream flows, it never forgets its source. We think we are separate from the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the phones we scroll on at midnight. But we are not. Every choice ripples backward through a chain of human hands and human lives. Every convenience carries a cost someone else paid. I still eat instant noodles sometimes. When I'm truly exhausted, when money is tight, when life demands, I choose survival over perfection. But now I eat them differently. I thank the wheat. I thank the workers. I remember the voice that screamed so I could hear. And I cook more real meals now. Not because instant noodles are evil, they are not. They are a tool, like anything else. But because I realized I was using convenience as a way to avoid myself. To avoid feeling. To avoid the harder work of being present in my own life. That's the thing about spiritual experiences, they don't usually happen in churches or on mountaintops. They happen in kitchens at midnight when you're vulnerable enough to hear what the universe has been trying to tell you all along: slow down. Pay attention. See the sacred in the mundane. Honor the connection in the convenient. My friends think I've gone crazy. You're telling me noodles talk to you, they say, laughing. And I let them laugh. Because maybe I'm crazy. Or maybe I'm finally sane in a world that's lost its mind. I keep that empty Indomie packet in my kitchen drawer. Sometimes I hold it and whisper thank you to the voice I heard that night. To the person who died making food they never enjoyed. To all the unseen labor that keeps the world running while we sleep. They say hunger is the best cook. But I learned something better that night: awareness is the best seasoning. It turns every meal into a meditation. Every bite into a prayer. Every moment into a chance to remember that we are all connected, the living and the dead, the workers and the consumers, the screamers and the listeners. So tell me, where are you watching this from? What are you eating as you listen to my story? Did you thank the hands that made it? Did you taste it, really taste it? Or are you, like I was, just trying to fill the emptiness as fast as possible? I'm not here to judge. I'm here to remind you what the Indomie reminded me: every choice is a conversation. Every meal is a relationship. Every moment of awareness is a small rebellion against a world that wants us unconscious, consuming, compliant. The spirits work with what they have. For me, it was noodles. For you, it might be something else. But they are waiting, in the mundane, in the midnight, in the moments you least expect. Listen. They have something to tell you. And trust me, you want to hear it before it starts screaming. Because some sounds, once heard, change you forever. And some lessons can only be learned by standing in your kitchen at midnight, holding a packet of instant noodles, and finally, being present enough to hear what the universe has been trying to tell you all along. You are not separate. You are not alone. And every single thing you consume consumes something else to become what it is. That's not guilt. That's connection. That's the web of life, visible at last. And honestly, it's terrifying and beautiful and absolutely hilarious that it took possessed noodles to teach me this. But here we are. And here you are. And somewhere, I like to think, that voice is smiling, knowing that it didn't die in vain. That it lived on in a story. In a lesson. In the moment you pause before your next meal and think. Who made this? What did it cost? Am I really tasting it? The ancestors are watching. They always are. And sometimes, when we're lucky, they don't just watch, they whisper. They warn. They teach. Even if they have to scream through a pack of Indomie to do it. Sleep well tonight. Eat mindfully tomorrow. And if your food starts talking to you, maybe, just maybe, listen. You never know what you might learn.